call in on the phone. Okay, I'm not going to make that meeting close.
I think that's
Just keep
kind
going.
of
Don't do it without
year,
me.
like we had last year. So, yeah.
That's full time.
You never know.
Vegetables. Each, so when we cook, I know every year. Sample? Yeah. So for example, the ratatouille that my wife makes, again, we got the I would say at least a dozen to 2 dozen people.
Thank you for joining us for the Southbridge Business Partnership meeting. Welcome, and I hope some of you, this is the first time for coming to the Metro Bistro, and others, thanks for returning. Jay and Ree Paul, thank you very much for hosting us tonight. And
we are members too.
Yeah, they're members, and we enjoy your business and all the things you do for the town of Southbridge.
Something about his business.
Well, I will hand over the microphone to Jay shortly. So, anyways, for those of you attending, again, thank you for coming. It's kind of a interesting where business is changing at this point in time. Most of us aren't having to wear masks where we are. Some of us still have to in the medical industry and stuff, but things are getting better. So thanks for coming and being part of what we do here in town. Again, the Southbridge Business Partnership is really here to develop economically growth within the town of Southbridge. I mean, that's what our main focus is. We do a lot of things within town, and we've got a lot of things going on. Currently, the Carpool Cinema, which was first tested last year during COVID, is now running on a monthly, once-a-month basis for the summer this year over at the Southbridge Hotel and Conference Center in the back and the AO parking lots. And that's June, July, August, September. And then also postponed for 1 year, but oncoming this year is the Southbridge Business Partnership Autumn Fest. Again, September 18th. So we look forward to all of you being part of that and anybody in town that's available to attending. So at this point, I'm going to offer the mic to Jay and to talk about Metro Bistro.
Thank you, Bob. It's a pleasure to host you. Glad to see you all here. And just for those who don't know me, I was born in Southbridge and raised at the top in the hills, Lebanon Hill, on my great-grandfather's farm. I now live in Pomfret, not because of really my choice, but the reason I'm there is my wife likes the house better, which we happen to have inherited from my best friend who unfortunately passed away from cancer. And he lived for many years in Pomfret, and we when we opened this, one of the reasons we did open this was my friend always wanted to have a local French restaurant. He was a longtime member, very active in the YMCA. We used to play tennis there when there was a tennis court for years and years. So although I lived for a long time overseas, and my wife, Mary Paul, is from France, we opened here going on 9 years now, which is rather unusual for this business. And it's a testimony. People just couldn't believe that I opened in Southbridge. And I'm a great believer that in the future of Southbridge. I understood what its past was, particularly because on my mother's side of the family, the Freemans, they were one of the founding families of Southbridge. And in fact, the burial ground across there in Oak Ridge Cemetery is where my wife and I, we will be buried there. And we will die. That's what happens, you know. I know it's not a happy story, but, you know, in the meantime, we try to make it pleasurable by, we have genuine French food. We have a tremendous clientele from the area and from people outside of the area. They'll drive routinely an hour, hour and a half. The gentleman who's in charge of the Southbridge Hotel Center, I explained that often we send people all the time to go there, stay overnight, because they'll drive here to eat, and then they'll stay overnight there. Each year we go there, and we stay overnight at least once a year. And we also have friends locally who go there and just take a staycation and enjoy going there. So it's wonderful. And as I say, of course, Pete's here. We shop at Big Bunny, and we do use the product. As we say, if you haven't had the ratatouille, all the vegetables there come from Big Bunny, and it's great that they do use local things. And we also use a lot of local farmers have those connections, so we're fortunate in that way. So again, right now we're only open to the general public for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings. And the reason we do that is the other times we basically do particular events and hosting and things of that nature, from wedding rehearsal dinners, funerals. One of the things we've been doing are special parties at Carol Spinney Big Birds Estate, which is right at the border of Woodstock and Southbridge. So we do these particular type of things. Why? Well, we're old people. We're in our 60s. And there's only so much energy we have, and we're trying to find young people to take this over and continue. I can't tell you the number of times people have approached me trying to buy us out of Southbridge to go to Worcester, to go to Webster, to go to Pomfret, Putnam, you name it. And they just can't believe that we stay here, but it's actually very charming and great. And people say, well, you have much more business, be more discovered. Saying, that's why we stay in Southbridge. There's a virtue to that. There really is. We contrary to everyone wanting to be, rich and famous on the internet and stuff, we remain very low key. And that's one of the ways that we were able to survive. And during this pandemic was that, in fact, we were pretty low key, and we maintained that, and we have just great clientele and a great support from the community. Part of the reason is, yes, I am related to half the town, particularly on the French side. But that doesn't. I still have an aunt here who has never been here in 9 years, and I invited her and said I will pay. And cousins for the same thing, who've never even showed up, and I didn't do anything to them. Believe me, it wasn't because of that. But that's just what family's about and those type of things. But anyway, I think they're probably secretly proud that we're here and that we're doing well. And again, I thank you very much for coming this evening, and please try the food. Mary Paul, did you want to say anything?
We really appreciate your support, and it's a new experience tonight, to host. So thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Next, actually on the agenda is I've got Maura Power from the YMCA, and Maura wants to talk to us about the upcoming 4th of July road race.
Hi, welcome. I don't know if I should do the screen. Thank you for having us tonight. I'm here for Chris from the Y, and I want to let you know about the 4th of July road race. It's the 72nd running. The second, I'm gonna go out and on a stretch and say it's the first continually run road race in the United States, the longest continually run road race, because we did remote last year on the exact day. Before last year, it was Boston Marathon because they do Patriots Day, but last year they did remote, but it wasn't Patriots Day. So I'm going to go out there. Our little Southbridge has the oldest, longest running race in the United States. Thank you. right? 72 years, continual. So anyway, that's kind of great. A little bit about the race, and then I'll tell you about what's happening on the fourth year. It was the VFW's post 6055. Leonard J. Lemire was the first American soldier in Pearl Harbor that died on that December day, and the VFW chose to honor him by this race 72 years ago, going on 72 years ago. So, which is really neat, and with the history and just like you had said with the town history, it's just a great place to be. So it's an exciting place. I've been helping coordinate the race for about 5 years now with the Y. The VFW entrusted the Y to take it over and organize it, and it was run for many years with other groups, another group, and they were just getting a little too old to run it, so it's a natural fit. So this year we're having it on the 4th of July, like every year. We're going to have an 8 o'clock start. Some exciting news. We start right at the Everett Street entrance of the Y, right down the street from the VFW post. So the route is exactly the same. So again, it was a natural fit for it to change hands. And this year, Team Hoyt New England is going to be putting our event on their calendar, which means that every year we're going to have these duo teams at our race. And many times Dick and Rick had done the race over the years. And so the Team New England is going to be doing these races. So if you're in the racing community, you know Charlton Old Homestead race, the team, that was always on their calendar. So it's going to be exciting to have the whole team or many of the participants coming from that team. So it's going to happen from the Y. 5 months ago, 6 months ago, we needed to make a decision. Are we going to do remote? How are we going to do in person? What's going to happen? So we're just going forward with our plan. Things are changing a little. So we're having a rolling start, which just means we're going to have maybe a delay. We'll have the team, the chairs go out first. 5 minutes later, people will self-seed themselves, and I think we're able to release them pretty close together. We'll separate them a little bit at 8:05, and then as everyone comes in, this year we're doing like a grab and go. If you know anything about the race, they've always had a fun prize table, because when I was much younger and I used to do the race, like you'd go home with like a box of Tide, or you'd go home with a broom, or you'd go home with, you didn't even know, a case of soda. Just fun stuff. So we still have kept that tradition. This year we weren't able to do it, so we're looking to just give gift certificates to the first place in all the categories. So if anyone is wanting to and willing to give a gift certificate this year, and then if we have extra gift certificates, we're going to randomly pick numbers just like they always did and send those to the winners. So that's kind of fun, but keeping with tradition as best we could without making it confusing and saying, oh, we're going to change this, or oh, we're going to change that. So it's going to be a grab and go. Big Bunny has been kind enough to offer water, fruit, and something else. No, just water and fruit. So as you go, you can grab that water along the race course, and I think that's all I asked for, so that's all I got. Maybe some ice. I felt like there was something else. Do you know what it is? I can't either. I wrote it down. We wrote it down. I need to remember it. And so anyway, that grab and go at the end, and people will just then take it and leave, and then we won't do the award ceremony. But next year we'll be back on full, and with having Team Hoyt New England chapter as part of our race, and maybe some others, that'll just be super exciting and growing. So I think that's it. The other part of our race is it's very inexpensive. We really just want people to participate. So it's a $10, but donations are certainly welcome, and certainly we have a level of donations. If you want to get a T-shirt, you get your name on the T-shirt, that sort of thing. So that kind of goes with any sort of fundraising. And all the money that we do raise is going to our branch for veterans and military scholarships. So whether it be memberships or day passes or whatever. So we kind of have that missing link. And when we met as a small group a few years ago, we said, all right, what do we need to fill? And that was one of those things. So for our branch, that is a service we've been able to provide for them. So the more that we have in there, the more money we can give. And I don't think we've ever denied anyone that's come in. And maybe we can even advertise that a little bit more when our funds get higher. So anyway, that's about the race. 8 o'clock start, register. It's on lightbox.com. You can go to the Y website. and you can get popped up, and it's as easy as that. And then if you want a T-shirt, you can order it. And I have a few of these beauties from last year, which we did have them made up as we had the remote and people wanted them. So it looks very similar. I think our shirts are red this year, and I think the Y logo might be meshed in here on the front. So anyway, this is our logo. This is the post, and I think that's everything. Have I forgotten?
Web address again?
It's Lightbox Timing Company, maybe .com. But Lightbox Timing Company, and it'll pop up, and then you just look for the race. If you go to the Y site, you can also, the link will bring you there. So the Family Branch YMCA in Southbridge, that'll get you to the link as well. Yeah. So.
It's great to have you back and open.
Thank
full
you.
swing.
Oh, I know, and we are full swing. There's a few hours we're not open, and it's great. The Y has been great, and we've been reaching out to teacher appreciation. We sent all the teachers in the communities a free month, and so we've had some teachers come in and take advantage of that. So it's good.
It is
You
nice.
might want to mention that it isn't just for professional races.
Oh, the race? Oh, yeah, no, it's fun. It's a 4.9. Oh, let's get a few of the gory details. 4.9. I'm going to do what I'm going to call the director's cut the day before and walk the race because, one, I want to make sure it's safe. It's going to be a little crazy because of all the yard work. How about the road work? But we'll take all precautions, and the police and the fire donate their time and resources, which is always great. Thank you. And they help us with the race and to make sure it's clear, as well as the Try running group. They do a lot, and they help on the day of the race, and you'll see them on the course. But it's 4.9. We come out onto Main Street. We go down to the Rotary. Some of our veterans greet us at some of the turns, which is great. We love having them. And we go down Mechanic, and then from Mechanic we take a left on Worcester Street, and we come up by Southbridge Tire and then up to Hook Street, and that is like up, up, up. It's very sunny even at 8 in the morning. And then we take a right onto Hamilton. We go all the way to the West Street intersection. We cross over and go up West Street. At South Street we take a left, and then it's all downhill once we get up to the top of that little piece. Downhill, South Street, Main Street, take a right on Elm, and then the fire department always has the hoses out. They hose you down. Fabulous. They're shouting at you like, that's a little bit of a hill. That's the last. And then we head down to where the school is. Marsh Street is the left. We cut over, and then we get onto Everett Street. And then we finish down at the Y. Parking, beautifully enough, the credit union has offered their parking lot for parking. Our parking lot is closed during the race. Team Hoyt New England will be parking there, but you can't go in and out during the race. But there's plenty of parking in the area. Like I said, the bank has opened, or even on Main Street. And it shouldn't be too busy. It's the Sunday, but even on 4th of July. And you can also sign up remotely. So if you say, or you can walk, you can do all of that and still support the race, but you don't have to be there. If you're away on vacation, you can say, all right, I'm going to put my 4.9 miles in. You're not up for the prizes, but still, that's okay. It's still $10. All right. It's a good cause, and it's good. And you get some exercise. So really, it's a win-win. You're committed to that exercise that day. So I think that's all the details.
Can you sign up at the Y in the lobby?
You cannot, but they will help you. If you go to the front, June Ellen is fabulous. They did a lot of that with the COVID shots. They just signed you up. So if you need help, I'll let them know, but we're happy to help you there. Some people don't have computers and access, so we're very user-friendly.
When you're walking in, you say, Al.
Yeah, yes. Yeah,
All right.
I think they will definitely help you. I'll let them know, because they'll be like this, what? Who? Yeah. What did she, what? Yeah, what? No, I hope not. Yeah. So we'll be honoring Dick Hoyt at the race, doing a little tribute. Kathy Boyer is going to be there. She's going to do our countdown for us. Dick did it in 2019, which was super special. If you go to our site, I think you can see the countdown. You can hear him. So that's really great, too. So it'll be a nice tribute, and so it'll be special, as it is every year. It's special. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Pleasure. And you can get a T-shirt for the right price. Come see me.
All right. Thank you very much, Maura. Next on the agenda is Dick Moore, and to talk about Ed Moore. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. It's forget it. The notes are down on the desk over there. Ed is going to talk about what's going on at Harrington. How's that?
Perfect. Thank you, Bob. I got it right, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Had to be sure, yeah. Pleasure to be here. We want to really update you on a few things. Hopefully all of you got your vaccination, and if you didn't, let me know. We'll get you in tomorrow. It's easy now. There's plenty of vaccine. We'll even come to your home or your business. So we want to really make an effort to get everyone vaccinated. So that's really important. But at the peak, we were doing 600 and 700 a day. Several of you volunteered. Thank you very much. It's scaled back dramatically because the demand has really come down. We're going to shift it over to our testing site on the corner of South and Sales and turn the Armory back, the community center back next week and open up there on July 6th. So it's still available. Just want everyone to be aware of that. We gave over 50,000 shots, which is remarkable. And we were, thank you. And we were really early to the game. We really didn't have a pause after we did our employees, and I think that set us apart from the rest of the state. And we were very fortunate to be able to do that and have ready supply the whole time, which was really terrific. What I want to talk about is a couple of other things. One is around behavioral health, just so you're aware. We're building a new unit over in the Webster campus. That'll be 10 beds more than the Southbridge unit, and we're going to relocate the Southbridge unit to the new unit. It's about a $5 million project. The state is supporting about 1.2 of that million, and it'll be 24 beds alongside a 16-bed co-occurring disorders unit that's over there. The need is so tremendous that patients are waiting much too long, so we think the capacity is very much needed, and we're excited about that. It will open in October. So there's a lot of construction going on over in Webster. I was there today. It's going gangbusters. What I want to talk a bit about, though, is UMass. If you haven't read about it or don't know about it, we're going to be acquired by UMass effective a week from today officially, July 1st. And it's something that we instigated. I want you to all know this was not like a hostile takeover or anything. It was a planned approach to what should our strategy be for the long term. And the reality is, there are only a dozen or less now community hospitals that are independent. We were one of them. And it's getting to be scary because you're on your own, you don't have a backstop, and COVID's a good example. If the government didn't come through, we would be cutting services and laying people off. Government came through, so we held our own and we're fine. But it would be nice to have Big Brother who can really help us in a pinch or provide more resources because they're so big. And that's what we're going to do. And we went through this 3-year process, figured out who was the best fit. The board was very actively involved and decided on UMass. And UMass has been super welcoming even before the closing and believe that it's in both of our interests and to serve this community is really front and center for them. So they want to see us invest in different programs, and I'll describe one of them in particular that's actually embedded in the deal, which is unusual. But first of all, they're going to give us, and begin right away, planning and installing a new computer system. Some of you may know we're on 2 systems. Our docs are on one, the hospital's on another. They don't talk to each other very well. And UMass, about 4, maybe 5 years ago, invested over $700 million in Epic. Epic is the premier computer system for hospitals throughout the country. But only large places, academic medical centers, usually get them and can afford them. As part of the deal, they're committed to putting it at Harrington, which is something we never would have been able to do. And that means if you're here and you go to Worcester, if you go to even Boston, anyone who has Epic, they could follow your care seamlessly. That's huge. And I think that's going to make a huge difference in the transfer of patients back and forth. UMass also believes that care should stay local, so they will help us keep more care local with more specialists and better facilities as needed. And one example of that, besides behavioral health, we're working towards planning for a new and larger ICU. We have an older 6-bed ICU. It can use an update and an expansion. So we're going to be focused on that over the next year or so. But and there's other capital commitments and all that. But within all this, one thing that's pertinent, and I say it when I overheard Jay's remarks just now, by the way, this place, as a local restaurant, is a gem. And I think when I first came here years ago, it was marvelous to experience it in Southbridge. So, but by the same token, Harrington, compared to others, even though we're small, we're a gem. We're a gem for this community. We just got to keep shining it up and make sure that everybody recognizes what we can do locally. And to that end, we negotiated in the agreement something that's unique. We negotiated a commitment by UMass, because they already do it in Worcester, but they didn't have it as part of our original deal. And then before we closed, before we made the final agreement, we put it in there, which is they're going to want to see us invest, find proposals where we can put into the community things that otherwise won't happen. And what I mean by that is there's a variety of initiatives that somebody might say, well, we'd like to do this to help with homeless. We'd like to do this to help with food. We'd like to provide some healthcare thing that could help meet the underserved in the community. But I don't have the startup cost. I don't have the capital. But once I get that, I could create this sustainable business. And Cindy does that all the time, right? But I might need 50 grand or 100 grand or $500,000. Now those numbers start to sound like a lot after a while. But the beauty is UMass committed that we can have access to up to $4 million for those kinds of purposes, really locally driven. Maybe it could be Southbridge, it could be Webster, it could be other towns, but clearly there's a great need in Southbridge. And we've put out there a request for proposals, looking at different options. And with that, it would be, the concept is it's not a grant. I want to be really clear, because grants are great, but they're only one shot. And if you need the money again, what if the grantee doesn't have the money to give you? This way, it's about how do you give money to start something up that then has a return. Over time, you pay it back, and then that money gets put back in for another project. So it's at very low interest, like 1 or 2%. So it's like a free loan almost to get something off the ground, because then you're paying it forward. And I think that's what UMass, now I said 4 million for our communities. UMass in total only has 4 million invested in Worcester and Fitchburg and Health Alliance and Marlborough. So I thought when they offered to put 4 million into our coffers to do this, that was pretty impressive, because you can, it's not like you lose it. If you replenish it as you get more projects that pay back, it's a revolving credit line basically, which is really cool that we could keep finding opportunities to improve the local areas. So I'm excited about that. Jess Calzadisi, who's my chief nursing officer, is all over it, leading the project. We have seats on the committees at the UMass level to support this. And I think what we're looking for is creative proposals. And in the next couple of weeks, we'll start to see initial ideas and turn them into real projects, hopefully in the next 6 to 9 months, and see some benefits. Any questions about UMass, anything you're hearing that I can answer?
Is there a website where we can get more information about this?
This is, yeah, we'll have it on our website in more detail after July 1, because until we close, we're really not formally part of that yet, but we will be, and we're going to publicize it definitely.
Fabulous.
Absolutely.
So the big change is July 1st, next week?
Yeah, it's a big change, but really nothing changes. That's the irony, is the employee, Harrington's still a licensed hospital, just has a new name. The name will be UMass Memorial Health, Harrington Hospital, Southbridge, Harrington Hospital, Webster, and other sites. The employees are still Harrington employees. Their paycheck is still signed by me, as far as I know. That's important.
Well, you're still here.
And I'm still here. Thank you for asking. No, and that's another point. I think that's an important message, which is UMass made a commitment to myself and my senior leadership team that they want us to stick around. They want us to stick around for at least a year. I use the word at least because who knows, whatever, but that's a reasonable time to get familiar with each other. And then I think after that, hopefully we'll stick around for a long time, because I think they're impressed with what we've established and what we've been able to do, and then they want to see that continuity continue. So, I'll be honest, initially they said, hey, we like you just the way you are. And that's a quote. They were happy the fact that we were doing our thing and referred a lot to them. And we said, that's great, but we really did this because we wanted to figure out who we should be part of. And if you're interested, tell us. If you're not, we could go to someone else. And I think we got their attention. Now they say, this is another quote, your problems are our problems. And I said, I like that. Because then if we have trouble, they got to provide resources to help us get through it. They got to help with capital. And those are important in this day and age. And healthcare is a tough business. And right now, by the way, the biggest problem we're all experiencing, I'm sure, is labor shortages. You know, there's some, between PFMLA and unemployment, some benefits there that are, you know, encouraging people to stay home. I must say, you see it. It's horrible. And when I have now a census that's booming, and I can't get staff, it's burning people out. And I recognize that.
So you're hiring. Harrington's hiring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the conference center hotel
Wait a
is
minute,
hiring.
who isn't hiring?
We're all hiring.
Yes, we're not hiring.
We just want the local public to know. that
We're hiring.
Southbridge Business Partnership people are hiring.
Yeah, and the other
Members,
part,
excuse me.
thank you for referencing me that. The other part of the process or the initiatives within the Anchor Mission is to hire locally, is to spend locally, and is to get more volunteerism locally. So those are really important principles that, sure, we could say we've been doing all along, but we're going to have a much greater effort, track it with data. UMass is all over that in the Worcester area and there are other hospitals, and I think we'll be rich in the data to see, you know, how are we bringing folks in or what are we doing to give back, and I think that's going to be terrific. So really excited about it. There's an event, if any of you have the time, you're welcome. Please come by. I know some of you will. 10 a.m. a week from today, July 1st. We're going to, Friday, they're putting up a 40 by 100-foot tent in our employee parking lot. So we're going to have multiple events that week, and this will be the culmination of that week. So anybody drop in, say hi. The Secretary of Health will be there, Secretary Sutters, along with Dr. Dixon from UMass. So it'll be a good day. Any other questions?
What are the events that are happening?
We're going to just have a speeches, celebration, some video, just to really highlight. And then the rest of the week, employee recognition we have a medical staff reception, we have a cancer survivors breakfast, just things, because we felt, and even an event like this where I could speak, not wear a mask and be around other people, is like, wow, this is great. So we wanted to bring people together finally to celebrate. Not that COVID's over, because I want to remind all of you, there is a variant out there, there is some risk, and we want to be sensitive to that. But if you're vaccinated, then you have a much better chance not to get sick and transmit it. So we're going to have a good time next week.
Right.
Thank you, Bob.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, Ed. Next on the agenda is actually Michael Brunel, who is the new Southbridge Recreation Director, right? So that's the terminology. Okay. Come on up, Michael. I'm going to give you the microphone and put you in front of the camera.
Thank you. I actually, sadly, only have a few minutes, but I did want to meet with you guys because basically after a year like COVID-19 gave us in 2020, we definitely need some fun in the town, and I think it's good to kind of make sure we can keep it as exciting as possible. And I'm also new to this job, so this is my 24th day. I started June 1st. I didn't work weekends, so I guess not exactly even 24 days. But it's kind of like a Christmas season, it seems like, when it comes to recreation, because it's summertime. And from anything that I've learned from the past and have noticed from driving through Southbridge is the concert series. And you guys usually carry the heavyweight of that. So I wanted to meet with you guys, show my face, and kind of just try to see if it's possible this year. It's going to be, I think, really a little difficult. Even reaching out to bands, a lot of them, their schedules are tightened up. So, you know, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. But I've been reaching out to bands that have worked in the past and have seemed to do a pretty good job. And it seems like the past rec directors have done a decent job reaching out to you guys and seeing which bands you guys like to play. So I'd like to keep that in mind and would love to hear some ideas. But yeah, the bands aren't exactly cheap, and I would, yeah, I would just love to see if we could get something going for the town. And recreation, if you look, it's only 1% of Southbridge's budget, so it can only go so far. there's a lot of focus on advertisings. The job was actually left a little bit open when I came into it, so I'm kind of learning through like a flash drive and kind of getting the idea of what it all came to. But bands aren't cheap, but sponsorships really helped, and they covered them, and I think it's kind of important that this summer we really come back and try to give the town as much as we can, and I think that's important. So, yeah, I'm not much of a great public speaker, but yeah, just kind of wanted to show my face, and you know, I'll be bugging you guys if all your names are on, if all your businesses' names are on the partnership website. Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone can donate though, right?
Anyone's allowed to donate. I'm just saying the heavyweights are right here. But yeah, $2 helps. Anything would. But yeah, I've just been trying to hit the ground running because basically when I started it was summertime, and trying to get a kids program going was my main focus before school got out, and I might have just had that fall into my lap, which would be very good. We'll see how that ends up. But my next focus was concerts because that's a very sensitive, time-sensitive thing, and I want to make sure that we can, again, do as much as we can for the town. I think it will kind of bring people together and kind of get them excited. Just having a ton of people at the Common just sounds like a lot of fun to me, especially after the year that we had of isolation. So,
Well, congratulations and welcome.
thank you so much.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. So yeah, what we want to try and do is get local businesses involved in trying to support the Southbridge Recreation Committee so that they can get concerts in the Common going again. So at this point, I'm open mic. So if anybody wants to speak, Dave, love to, yeah. Dave Adams, here we go.
Appreciate it. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir. Thank you. I just want to let Ed know last night at the P&D subcommittee, we pushed that, the anchor mission. Anchor mission move. So just wanted to let you know that we did pass that, go up to town council soon. I just want to, last time I talked to you guys, we were in a conceptual design for the monuments, the veterans monuments here in town. I gave a brief to the town council. It was an 8-0 vote for us to move forward with it, which we are. We just hired a surveyor. So our next step is an engineer so we can do a final design. And then we'll be pushing this throughout social media. I just wanted to, well, Mike already introduced himself. I just want to say that this past year we have been trying as a council to work on the parks. From Adopt the Park program to reintroduce it. P&D also put through a grant application to redo the the BMX and the skateboard park, taking it from wood and moving it over to cement and metal. So hopefully that'll work out. But that's pretty much all I have right now. I do have some flyers for you guys if you'd like to donate, but with our new EIN, so it should help out. But I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. All right, and the other thing that I did bring myself actually is some flyers for the Carpool Cinema nights. So if anybody's, I've got 11x17s, which are a window flyer, and we've got some wind signs being made up. Also, on your way out, we have Southbridge Town Guides that are available. Again, produced by the Southbridge Business Partnership. And basically supporting all the businesses in town and everything Southbridge. So from that point, I think
Bob, can I?
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead, Randall Chinnick.
Hi, Randall Chinnick. I'm the Vice President of the Southbridge Business Partnership and a business owner here in Southbridge. And I'm also among the group leading the effort to get a mural project going here in Southbridge. There's been a lot of interest over the years in murals in town. There already are some. And we would like to really crank that up and get a lot of murals mounted here in Southbridge. One of the approaches that we're thinking about is soliciting artists to submit digital art that we would then print on vinyl. And those vinyl prints would be stretched on frames that would be mounted to various buildings so that you would have art that is interchangeable and movable and replaceable. There are also some areas where we think we want to do direct on surface murals. For example, the walkways that lead to the Central Street parking lot, and perhaps some of the walls along those walkways where, for example, mural artists could paint images of windows with interesting things happening inside of those, so that it looks like you're looking inside the building. We are looking for grant opportunities to help fund this. There may be a crowdfunding component of it, as well as soliciting area businesses to support this. So we're looking at about a 2-year time frame to really try and get this going. The Southbridge Business Partnership has conceptually agreed to partially fund this effort over the next 2 years. It won't be enough to do all of it, so we'll be looking for other sources, as I just mentioned, grants and crowdsourcing. So I just wanted to make people aware of that. We'll be involving the Southbridge Cultural Council, Southbridge Arts, Southbridge Town Hall, Economic Development, and other interested parties. The library is interested in perhaps becoming the long-term repository of the art that is generated over the years, and perhaps endow the effort with some amount of annual maintenance. So those are some of the things that are being worked on. So stay tuned for more information.
Thank you very much, Randall. All right.
Mary Paul sing as a fun thing.
Sure. Yeah, no.
So
I'm going to give you that. Go ahead.
one of the things I like to mention, those you haven't been here before might not know, regular people like Bob and Denise, and they know that really Mary Paul my background was in running things and culturally. Mary Paul was a professional actress and singer for over 30 years in Europe, and a specialist particularly in voice. So one of the things that we do with people here, we have a secret weapon. Not only do we cook food fairly well, but she also comes out at the end of the night and she sings a cappella in 10 different languages. Now, she's only fluent in 5, so don't hold that against her. So I said to Bob this evening if it'd be all right as we're concluding the event. By the way, do not rush out. We have plenty of food. And if you want to take some, we have things to go. We made more than enough food. So Mary Paul's going to sing the great Edith Piaf classic a cappella, not with a microphone, La Vie en Rose, Life in Pink. Oh, if you want it on tape, you have to sing into the microphone. That's right. She can sing into the mic. She's done that. Yeah. She's done this before. This is not her first rodeo.
La vie en rose, life in pink. Des yeux qui font baisser les miens, un rire qui se perd sur sa bouche. Voilà le portrait sans retouche de l'homme auquel j'appartiens. Quand il me prend dans ses bras, il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. Il est entré dans mon cœur une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. C'est lui pour moi, moi pour lui dans la vie. Il me l'a dit, là juré pour la vie. Et dès que je l'aperçois, alors je sens en moi mon cœur qui bat, la 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 la. Merci. Thank you.
All right. So thank you very much, Marie Paul. I appreciate it. It's wonderful. At this point, sort of the conclusion of the evening, but I would like to invite everybody for our next meeting at Cohasset Country Club on July 28th. We're going to have a party out on the deck at Cohasset, and hopefully it's a great day. I'm hoping that we're out on the deck versus indoors. But anyways, they have both available to us, and looking forward to hosting Southbridge Business Partnership. So thank you.